On the June 28th Lover's Shock episode, astrologer Val Evans asks Amber about her forecast for the next month.
What is happening between July 15th and August 3rd?
Amber predicts the upcoming death of the prince's uncle.
There's an element of Diana's family, uncle from Diana's family.
Later, they discuss elements of danger and spies in the weeks prior to rioting thugs that will take over towns in England.
Sometimes can be someone who's hiding in the bushes.
Then Val wonders about Russian influence.
Are we talking about a spy operation?
Oh my gosh, and then the Page of Swords, which is the spy.
And hello, everyone. I am Val Evans, and just checking to see if you can see me okay. All right. We're good, and great to see everyone. Welcome to Royal Revelations. It is August 16th, 2024. And thanks for joining me today live or on replay. We've got charts and cards with Amber from Taurus Moon Tarot, and she can help us explore the mysteries that we see in the astrological charts. We've got quite a few today. If you like ad-free content, click the join button and get our predictions with no interruptions. Also, you can hit the bell for notifications on future shows. And a special thanks to the valedictorians, the members who make this content possible. We are live in this show every Friday at 4:30 Eastern, 9:30 p.m. BST. This show is all about how to teach you how to make predictions in your life using your solar return chart. And so we're going to take a look at a bunch. And remember, if you're coming on here and seeing this content and you're being critical of people who are in the public, that's not what astrology is about. We are measuring and predicting the energy. And sometimes that energy is how people see public figures. So we just try to take a look at that and gauge it. And also, this is a learning opportunity, so you can forecast events in your life by watching the astrology of the royal family. So I'm going to say hi to everyone. I see Eleanor is here. KK, good to see you. Valentina, Sophia, Buckeye, Clay Fan, Aaron, Frankie's here. Karen and Inga's here. Monarch Butterfly is also here. And I am going to just flip over real quick to my next slide. Where have I put it? Where did I put it? Suddenly it got lost. Hang on one second. Here it is. And we're going to be talking. It's weird. I really wanted to talk about Prince William, which we are going to do, about what's happening for him right now. But then I started really looking at the charts for Meghan and Harry, and there are some things that I really want to talk about, and I want to discuss with Amber to see what she thinks. Make sure to catch me this Sunday at 9 p.m. for the Live with Val. I'm going to be looking at some charts, including mapping of past not solved murders, but murders in which there were bodies that were found and where they were found, as well as I'm going to have a special guest on who has had quite a few interesting lessons when it came to relationships. So she wants to come on and talk about that. And there is Amber's handle if you want to reach out to her on YouTube. And we also put her email in the description. So I want to just remind everybody now, yes, this is a picture of Nancy Grace, and she is sitting in front of the Idaho 4 crime scene, but she did this during Mercury retrograde. And it was it was not taken very well by the public. So it was a real risk for her to do that. And I hope you can see that. Yeah. That's the one. I'm about to make a point with Mercury retrograde. Sussex Royal, another example of what was launched during Mercury retrograde, that didn't do so well and had to be taken down later. forced really by behind the scenes royal, the royal chess match. Um, Titanic. I mean, that's probably one of the more famous examples. Not only did it sail on Mercury retrograde, but the plans were finalized on the Mercury retrograde. I guess maybe it was a year before, a couple of years before, and and also Blake Lively. She started promoting her new film, and whew, during retrograde, it's a risk because you might be coming up against some controversial topics. In this case, a journalist came out and was very critical in how Blake Lively handled herself in a prior interview. Okay, so we're going to talk about the progressed chart of Harry and Meghan. And the first thing I want to do is address how their latest hire was either let go or he quit, and it was after 3 months. So first of all, before I do that, I want to just say hello to Amber. Hey, Amber.
Hi, how are you?
Doing great. Trying to work through the Mercury retrograde, as we all are.
Yes, it's been a wild, intense week.
Really? Yeah, that
Thankfully,
makes me
I've
feel.
kept everything away from my sphere, but yes, I've been seeing a lot
Do
of
you
intense.
do you ever see, and I'm asking this for you and the chat, do
Yeah.
you ever see a difference in your pets during retrograde? Do they act differently or
No, it's
anything?
interesting. E I would say yes with my dog because he's pretty even Steven, and he's
Okay.
had a little bit more energy this week, which is unusual for his lazy, self. Typical lazy. He's a little
He's
more
doing
energy.
more jumping, lots of
Yeah,
jumping
yeah.
and begging, lots of begging.
Yes,
So interesting.
interesting.
Now, I wanted to talk to you a little bit. First of all, I was like, what's in the news? Well, we're going to talk obviously about what Harry and Meghan are going through. And, we try not to be critical of anyone
Right.
because we as humans go through, surprisingly enough, the
Yeah,
same thing that they do in certain parts of our lives. I
yeah,
am seeing some interesting things when it comes to who Meghan is hiring.
yeah.
And what's interesting, I've got this chart up here, and her sixth house cusp, which represents coworkers and workers,
Mhm.
it is in Aquarius. It just went into Aquarius maybe 2, 3 years ago. She was getting that energy, and Aquarius means either to quit,
Right.
workers quit, upsets when it comes to workers. And the issue is
Hmm.
that, she's just getting into this now. This
Yeah,
is a hard, hard thing to have to deal with when you're trying to have all of this momentum. And then things happen that are unexpected when it comes to workers. And notice that South Node is right there on that sixth house, which
right.
is to let go.
Yeah,
And you're going to hear that phrase a lot. Why is it going to be a lot? Because Pluto's there. It means lots and lots and lots and lots of
oh,
letting go.
interesting.
So then, okay, that's part one.
Yeah.
Part two is, so we go to the sixth house lord of worker, right? And
Mhm.
it's here. Now, if you have a job and you want to know something about your coworkers, you can do this. But for her, it's the people who support her, her workers.
Mhm.
And look where it is. Uranus is conjunct Black Moon Lilith. And by the way,
Oh,
this is a progressed and
okay.
transit chart. So these are the transits on the outside. This is her progressed chart on the inside. And it is super. I mean, it's like I'm looking at it and I am physically in shock looking at it, that
Yeah.
this is Black Moon Lilith shock. And at the moment, let me erase this real quick, it is squaring Mercury retrograde.
Hmm.
And Mercury represents the second house of income too. So
Oh,
it not only is it affecting her and her income, but there could be some kind of theme like, oh, I thought you were going to pay me this, or they're not going to pay
oh,
me, or something like that. I don't know if that's all that it is,
hmm.
but this Black Moon Lilith to me is this is serious.
Yeah.
And I would like to ask you if, maybe, and you also draw
Mm,
cards. I'm not sure if you did it for them because we didn't really talk too much about that,
no.
but what do you think
Well, it
about?
makes me wonder with the Mercury retrograde, piece there on the chart. Is it someone, a prior worker who was already let go in a maybe not a great way, is coming back around to argue over money, or, bring back something from that time? It made me think about a prior worker.
Okay.
Could have
Yeah, that
been
makes sense.
from some
Definitely with
time
the
ago.
Mercury. Yeah, definitely with the Mercury retrograde. I think
Yeah,
that would make sense.
like they're now arguing over the money. This is
Yes.
timing. Oh, look at that. The Aquarius star card. Someone's hopes and wishes. That might be someone getting something from her. Oh, look, and the Queen of Wands in reverse, that certainly could be Black Moon Lilith. This is a very distressed female, someone not very happy. Bad attitude, very bad attitude. And it could be around some promise made that wasn't fulfilled, and it caused a fight. This is coming back around. It's like an old fight. It's an old fight, old argument. Yeah, around work with the Emperor.
Okay, makes sense. Yeah, lots of just Black Moon Lilith stuff, and it is.
Ooh.
Oh, okay.
Well, it had a money card, so it certainly would be in disagreement about money, like some kind of financial argument.
Yes. It's possible that they weren't expecting that they would have to work so long, especially
Mm,
with Meghan and Harry having to go down to Colombia. Maybe it was long nights,
yeah,
or, it can also be a power struggle, and also just not communicating well.
yeah.
We've all had this happen to us,
Mhm.
and especially with work related things, it can be really tricky. Anything else before I get to the next slide?
Yeah, it could be a delay in being paid too. Like, I was due this and it's being withheld with the Four of Pentacles. It's like holding back on the money that is due, not paying it
Okay.
timely or delaying that.
Okay, Four of Pentacles.
Yeah.
Interesting. And TJ, nice to see you. Jody's here. Monarch Butterfly. I don't know if I said hello. Natalie, Shauna. So we've got a great group in here. Now, let's go to here's what I was referring to. Uranus conjunct Black Moon Lilith. This is something that is very, very concerning to me. And I'll say that because it's in the last degrees of Scorpio. What I've seen, and maybe some astrologers might disagree, but what I have seen is when something goes into the late degrees, kind of like Neptune and Pisces right now, things get very, very intense,
Mhm.
and it's like it's going to end soon. So it comes to this crescendo, and Scorpio means revenge and betrayals. So
Mhm.
there could be some type of thought on Megan's part that she will be betrayed and that she has to
Right.
be careful.
Yeah.
So that's possibly what she's going through there. Oops, that's what I was talking about.
Yeah.
Now, okay. Yeah, so there I mean, how hello, it's like that's some Scorpio right there.
Yeah.
So, we don't like now if there's trines, it's usually okay, but with the Scorpio, or I'm sorry, with the square with a planet, especially Uranus and Scorpio, it's like you really have to watch your back, and
Yeah.
so that's what she's doing.
Yeah.
Now, for those who are interested in creating a solar return chart for yourself, you go to your birth chart on AstroSeek, and then you're going to click the year where you had your last birthday, then the solar only tab. So we're going to look at Megan's solar return chart, which is a predictive method. And this is what I'm seeing. I'm seeing this in her chart. I'm seeing Uranus squaring the Lord of her seventh. And that's going to be, it could be November, February, or May.
Right.
And this is a big deal now, keeping in mind anybody who has a planet in Leo, um, Leos are going to automatically have their sun in Leo every
Yeah.
solar return chart. But if you have other planets that are squaring Uranus, and a lot of people do, you just have to see where it is in the chart. So just looking at this looks like something could affect her career. It could
Mhm.
affect her husband.
Mhm.
It looks like something gets cut. And we talked about it a little bit before. This could be his title, but we're going to talk about that in a second. Hold on. Um, what is I think this is it says Harry's. Saturn, Moon. Yeah. No, that's 1801. Shoot, I forgot to put the chart in here. I'll have to put it in.
Yeah.
But Harry's chart shows, or her chart shows a square with Saturn, which is at the very least your your mate might be very depressed,
Right.
or might be in danger. So I am going to hand it to you, and while you do that, I'm gonna plop in her full chart so I can show you.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd like to see what, for Megan, what that possible seventh house, that break, what is it connected to for her? Ooh. Let's see. I have a lot of pre-cards that are sort of to do with some kind of stubbornness, or Knight of Swords. Oh, Eight of Swords in reverse. I'm getting something here. Devil in reverse. This is an undoing of an addiction, or something that is, like I said, this is Saturn too.
Mhm.
So there's a breakdown, mental breakdown. This is Eight of Swords, is certainly sort of mental health concern,
Okay.
or an unleashing or a releasing of some kind. I say addiction, but that could also mean obsession, some kind of obsession, or something has a hold on you or is restricting you, the Saturn feel. And I feel like that's her releasing. There's the High Priestess. We always see her when we talk about the royal family.
I know, that's weird, and that's the card that I got for this. Wait a minute. So
Yes.
she's not the High Priestess though, is she?
No, no. I would say for her, because I'm asking about her, this would represent just a feminine energy around her, related to her roots, or where she comes from, or the people in, her ancestral line, women. There's so much blocked. Two of Swords, the Devil, everything is very restricted, and there's like a release of something that's been held very tight. I got the Four of Pentacles again too. So could it be a financial loss? Maybe. I don't feel that. It's more of something that she's held on to obsessively, that she has to release or let go of. Yeah.
Interesting. And that could be that, when you work really, like for me, if I put in all of this work to try to be the perfect person, and then suddenly, because somebody in the wings decides that I shouldn't have it, I would be obsessive about that. It's like a lack of control. It feels whatever it is, it feels like a huge shock. And yeah.
I could almost see that it might be connected, the ancestral thing, to her father and his time here. If this, I don't know if this is next year, but that obsession on revenge, and obsession about disconnecting, cutting off, and restricting access, and all of that goes away. If he is no longer in the scene.
The father.
Okay.
Yeah. Interesting. Now I'm going to look at some of these comments. Jody, you say Black Moon Lilith to me is Lily in the movie Legend. I know, Natalie. It just, it was a time period, I don't know, in some people's lives that just was like, it was the end of that little sweet era when Selena was big, and it's very sad. Now, Aaron, you say Meghan has yet to experience her mid-40s transits. That's true. I'm going through mine, and they are no joke. One of those is Uranus oppose Uranus, and it means that you have to change. Things get pulled out from under you, and you thought you were going this way, but now you're going this way. And so I think there's a revenge move coming for her. And it's interesting, everybody, there's a lot of comments on this channel about who's jealous of whom.
Right.
And the whole bottom line for Scorpio is it's everybody jealous of everybody. It's
Yeah.
not just one person. It's
Right.
and sometimes you can't help it because, say for instance, one group, maybe they don't have a very good marriage, and then all of a sudden they see all of this energy of
Mhm.
people holding hands and
Yes.
having wonderful trips and
Yeah.
whatever, and it's like it's innate to be
Yeah.
jealous of, I mean, some people
Yeah.
aren't jealous. So it's basically what others have that you don't, and it happens. I don't care who you're talking about with the royal family, especially with all
Mhm.
that Scorpio energy.
Yeah.
Psh,
Mhm.
I mean, it one of the big examples, of course, is Diana and Camilla.
Mhm.
She just couldn't get her husband to act like he acts with Camilla. That would have been terrible.
Yeah.
Um, Eleanor, is the half sister not publishing a book? I don't know. I'm not sure. I haven't heard anything about that yet, but I think she's trying to go back to court. Um,
Mm.
Monarch says, my insight is that Harry will divorce before Prince W. And let's
Mm.
see here. Okay, so now let me pull this up real quick. And then I have something to show you guys about what we're doing here and how there might be some um, similarities with what I did for the Matthew Perry show. So I put a little highlight reel together. But anyway, this is Megan's chart for this year. So let's go around, and this is a learning experience for anybody who hasn't looked at their solar return chart before. You would start here, and what is it? August. She had her birthday August 4th. Harry is having his birthday on September 15th. And so he's in his last month right now. Anyway, so September 4th, did I say 4th? Yeah, September 4th. This is the month that she's running right now. And can I just say, I had this recently for a solar return chart. This is one of the hardest to have. She has some really nice aspects. So it's going to provide a cushion for her. There are going to be some really amazing, dreamy moments. Seems like that's the case for her in many years. But Pluto is here. It's retrograde. So her planet for the year is retrograde.
It's retrograde.
But here I'm counting all the way over to the fourth house, which would be August, September, October, November. So we're going to keep an eye out for November 4th to December 4th.
Mhm.
And this is a huge month. Why? Because Uranus is running that. Uranus is squaring um, the Lord of her seventh house. This is Harry. So
Yeah.
November, boom. It would not surprise me if somebody did something to them or something happened around the holidays,
Mm.
because that's like a double pow, like it makes me think of your card, the one that says pow. But
Yeah.
Saturn is in there. So Saturn, in the month that you have Saturn in there, things return. You return home. She might return wherever home is. So that might be,
Mhm.
I mean, maybe they return to the UK. I don't know, but there's a sadness in this month. But this is a fight. This is bullying. This is serious online bullying, but it could also have something to do with air travel,
Um,
or some kind of an, I don't like to say the A word, but
yeah.
I would like to know, seeing as how this is really seems to affect her partnerships, not just Harry, but her
Yeah.
employment partnerships, like, the streamers, or Harry. Is Harry safe?
Yeah. That's a good question. Let's ask that direct question. Well, this is not the answer we're looking for, the Two of Pentacles. This is to be decided. So I'm going to dig a little deeper and ask, during this period that we're querying, November, around the holidays, is he safe? Not financially. I would say that she is his safe. she will be the one to sort of in a protection mode. I have the 9 of Pentacles, and then the 10 of Pentacles has to do with the loss of money. So is there some kind of financial loss around the holidays for him?
Yeah,
that
that's
it would
possible.
be big. It would be a lot. Or Ace of Cups in reverse. I almost wonder if this is a loss for her financially.
Okay.
But I want to know what it is. It's around her family. There's something with her family. There's a break in her
Okay.
genetic family.
It could have something to do with her dad.
Her dad, yeah. Like I almost see the 2 sisters arguing over. Not that there's a big inheritance. There could
No.
be. Maybe there's something that's maybe a battle over property, finances, family wealth, something like that. Or she just releases it. Maybe.
You can almost hear them saying, well, you've got plenty of money, Megan. You don't need part of dad's estate,
Right.
something like that, that might come up. I can just see it in my head. Interesting.
The short answer to his mental health is probably going to be a concern with the 9 of Swords in reverse. When I asked again about him specifically and his safety, I think there's going to be some challenge around his mental health. He might even go into hospital. Nothing serious, but I could see a hospital scenario around that time for him. Yeah. Well, yeah, there is travel too, travel abroad. My 2 of Wands. I could almost read this. Does he get sick when he's traveling and he ends up in hospital when he's not at home, like far away? I could see that too. Oh, did we lose you?
Oops.
Oh, there you go.
I've been saying okay.
Oh.
You just didn't hear me. Thank you. Okay. And you know what? AZ Sunshine, and I do too, Aaron. And it's funny. It's like I feel bad for every sign sometimes because every sign has a positive. You're going to get the positive and the negative.
Yeah.
When you're talking about Leos, they are going to be the bullies. They're going to bully people, but
Right.
they are also going to get that energy of being bullied in their life. What does Meghan Markle, what is she accused of? She's accused of bullying.
Yeah.
Yet now she's talking about how she was bullied and how, cyberbullying and all that. So that is automatically going to be a theme in a Leo's life.
Yeah.
And so you're seeing it go back and forth with her.
They've created that foundation around online bullying prevention and awareness and support. And it's like they're taking what they themselves have been accused of into we're the person on the other side, being bullied, and we want to prevent others from that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Sunny says, could it be Harry's inheritance? Not getting some inheritance equals loss of money. That's a possibility. I see it more like, he has to be careful. I think
Yeah.
that it looks like an accident, or it looks like something that is so shocking. And if that could be also his title too, which will affect her 10th house,
Right.
her career. So, hey, Toy, nice to see you. So,
Yeah.
all right, let me see what I have next. Yeah, it's that Uranus, the Uranus square. It's going to happen, everybody. And the way that you can get you get really good at seeing your predictions is to look at your life before. Look at your solar return charts. Think about, certain years where it was really good or really
Right.
challenging, and you go to those years and you see how it breaks down in that month.
Yeah.
All right. Now, I want to let me just add this, and okay, we're going to talk about Prince William in a second, and what I, just see for him, and maybe, and the cards are going to be really interesting for this. Because what's so weird is if you look online, heck, why don't we just do it right now? look at Prince William's, and I'm going to share it in a second.
Yeah.
Um,
Are we looking at a beard? Is that what we're doing?
oh, I wanted to talk about that too. What do you think?
I find it very fascinating. I think it's odd. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I like beards. Not everyone likes a beard. I don't mind a beard. I just think it's strange timing. He's been so much out there and in the news and, very prominent for the royal family over these months. And it was just an odd, like, oh, he did that. When did you do that? Overnight? Is this what happened? It's very strange to me.
But we could just say it's his summer beard. It's the fashion, but
Yeah.
I'll bet you Harry is getting a big kick out of it because I think he was told, he was, basically walloped that he
Yeah.
had a beard, and now Will's got a beard, which only adds to the theory of Leo and having twins around somewhere, and now all of a sudden they're twinning.
Yeah.
They're twinning beards, and it's going to be their hair, which would be Leo.
Yeah.
Twin Leos. You're not thinking much else of what to expect when people get married.
Yeah.
But in Princess Catherine's case, suddenly, her sister gets out of the car. So suddenly, and she looks exactly like Catherine.
like
So
her. Yeah.
that could be good for William because he has Gemini on his 7th house. Tends to mean that there's going to be more than one wife. She might kick him to the curb. I don't know. But this could be the remedy for that, where he marries a girl that has a twin. So let's hope that that's it.
I had a question about Saturn. This could be a rumor, but I thought that I've heard Saturn could be an indicator in a chart for a second marriage, or is that delayed marriage?
It could be a delayed marriage, yes. Real. I don't know if you guys have been looking at the Matthew Perry revelations.
October 28th, 2023. Matthew Perry's death was announced. So that evening, Val reads Perry's astrological charts to gather more information. It was initially reported that Perry drowned in his hot tub, but the charts offered much more. She starts off with the cause of death and then makes a shocking discovery.
The sun squaring Uranus, with the sun being in Leo, that's a heart attack. Leo represents, the heart. There's a female there. I don't like this female stuff. It just seems like somebody's in the wings that might not be good for him. I'm not sure who it is, but, maybe she is activating something with the addiction issue. It looks like his family, they're fighting.
Next, Val creates the criminal profile.
And there's a female there. This female, she's in Leo, so she's going to have a lot of hair. She's got that black moon Lilith that's very sexy. Some sexy woman might have been around him because it looks like there's going to be something shocking involving her. We can definitely say that she has Leo qualities. This might be a blonde woman. Look at where the 12th house Lord is. That's where you're going to find in your solar chart a hidden enemy. What do your hidden enemies look like? Sometimes you want to see that. You want to see an opposition. You want to see a square because these people are fighting for your money, which is probably going to happen. There's going to be some kind of a fight. And it's going to be public too because of that moon. People are going to write about it. Those hidden enemies, the moon, they're going to try to lie. Look at how there's an opposition with Neptune. That's deception. But they're not going to be able to. They're going to be called out for what they're trying to do.
Val believes the police case will move forward with new evidence.
There might be some success if they're able to access from the internet. Venus in Virgo can be a healthcare worker, but it can also show somebody who's pretty critical as well. It's almost like there's two guys. Mercury and Mars is that's like two men. But Mars rules his 8th house. There's some dark forces around his finances. So I hope that his managers take care of him. Like I said, there's going to be a fight here. You think the public is going to accept what happened to him, or are they going to be asking for more information?
Black Moon Lilith. Wow.
I'd crazy.
It's crazy. The chart.
We didn't even need the news to pop. We had your chart.
look at the original thing, you
Wow.
know?
Yeah.
But and apologies for, the audio there. I don't know what happened, but we heard most of it, and thank you, Frankie, and, talking a little bit about Aniston too. Um, yeah, Frankie, I saw that about Brooke, so that's a possibility. Oh god, yeah, there's a whole bunch of stuff,
Yeah.
about that whole thing, but anyway, not about royals, but is it? Because we see the Black Moon Lilith, we're already seeing it kind of hitting Meghan a little bit, so she
Right.
has to be careful. There are dark forces around her that want to betray her, I think, and so, you see her continually putting people on the chopping block, or they're doing it to her. There there's a reason for it, I think.
Yeah. Is there ever an indicator that the person's chart that we're looking at is the Black Moon Lilith in their chart?
Okay, say that one more time.
If you is could you look at someone's chart if it was Meghan's chart? Is
Uh-huh.
there a differentiator between the Black Moon Lilith being her in her own chart or someone else?
Yes, it's so funny that you said that too, because in, Matthew Perry's
Mhm.
the extended full version, I do go into it a little bit, and it's right on his ascendant, and which would show, and I say that in the show, it shows that he's being naughty. So it's kind of like the naughty,
Oh,
back and forth. And so right now it's hitting her ascendant. It could be her too,
mm,
but it seems like there's quite a few definitions for Black Moon Lilith. One of which is it can be trying to carry out a certain scheme
mm,
and doing it undercover and not having any empathy for anyone while doing it. A great example, I'm watching Lacey Peterson on the new Netflix documentary. Not that they haven't had a million documentaries already, but um, on Lacey, but you see how, Scott Peterson, who now is in jail for the crime of committing murder against his wife, you could see how he's very relaxed. There's no, if he's worrying, he's kind of acting, and as they describe his demeanor, it's very Black Moon Lilith, like,
yeah,
sorry, we were watching Martha Stewart. I don't know. She's
right.
missing, you
Yeah.
know? So that's it's somebody who doesn't really have any remorse. And I
Mm,
think in the case of if that were to apply to Megan, it probably would be like, look, I know what you're capable of, and that's why I don't care about you. I know what you've already done to me. So
right,
guess what? Here's a little just dessert for you. Doesn't
right.
She doesn't seem like that type of person,
Yeah,
but sometimes you can get revenge on someone and you're not really like wanting to. It's
yeah,
just that's how it all plays out. But
right.
I'll bet you this Columbia, now keeping in mind the Columbia tour that they're doing is during Mercury retrograde.
That's great.
And
Yeah,
usually when that happens, there are consequences for a long time when you want to
mm,
start something new like that.
right. Yeah, it'll be interesting.
So, all right, yeah, I know.
Mm,
Now, I'm going to share this next. And all right, so this is Will's chart. This is his birth chart.
mhm.
And so here's the problem. I'm always like so worried with both of them because they are the twins.
Yeah,
And so the same types of things can happen to both of them. And hopefully you can see that. Yeah. Um, you can see how, and his seventh house cusp, we're in the last 3 years of it. And then he goes into Cancer. So
right.
this is an ending of the twin. Now, what does this ending mean? That's what I want to ask the cards.
Yeah. Let's see with the moon there and the sun. This is his birth chart.
His birth chart. Yeah.
Okay. What is it?
Oh, you know what? Wait a minute. I said that wrong. This is
Oh,
his birth chart. This is not, I keep thinking it's his progress chart, but it's still in the end degrees of Gemini. And that it's very intense. So
mhm.
how do you word that? like something about the twins. Will Prince William have a second wife? How about that?
Let's see. I actually want to take this card. That came out in a different deck for, Nine of Swords in reverse. Sorry, I want to get some clarity. Queen of Cups in reverse. That would tell me, oh my gosh, the bottom of the deck.
Another Camilla? Mm.
I have to say, yes, and she was the second marriage to Charles. And I have this intuition that there's almost a karmic path that he's following behind his dad in this way. Like there's almost a repeat, and that is the end of the Gemini era for him. It's like repeat this scenario exactly as it played out previously. And that, and here's Will right under the devil with him in reverse. This is definitely, this is Mercury retrograde in a card. That's what this card is. So
that's crazy.
That's Gemini going sort of, full circle. This is I'm going to say possibility, a strong possibility.
Okay. You think it's that he's going to have a second wife?
Mm-hmm. I do.
Can we see the reason for that? Why is maybe something about Catherine?
Let's see. Oh, I thought this before. Wow. It is. Yeah, it's actually a divorce. That if the reason with the Hierophant in reverse, this is a traditional agreement breaking down. And this is a very, religious type of energy too. It's a break of a marriage. This is a marriage card. And I thought this earlier, would it be the second marriage might be someone from another monarchy. It could be someone from another monarchy. Yes. Not an English woman, potentially. That would be quite scandalous. But, and it could be, I have the Aries card, I have the Leo card. So blonde, strawberry blonde, lots of, maybe looks, German or Danish, or I don't know. I don't know much about European monarchs, but that's possible. Nobility.
Nobility, because they were saying that that girl was in the news that he had a crush on, and remember there was a little bit of it was a troubling, if I were Catherine, I would not want to see something like this, but that when they took a break, he pursued I think she came from a good family. Okay. I'm not sure if I would call her nobility, but she's blonde. She's blonde.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I wonder if he has, a likeness to. Interesting.
Natalie's saying that would be quite the scandal. Yes.
That would be very scandalous.
Hello, curious watcher. Oh, we are all curious. Now, Frankie Blue Big Puppy she is set on Gemini being a double agent. I don't know. I think that, at this point, I wouldn't be surprised about pretty much anything. Deborah says, my mind went to Princess Caroline of Monaco marrying the German royalty. Yeah, that's...
with that Aries card. Interesting.
Yeah, so it's definitely a breakdown now. Their wedding chart, as we saw in a past show, was kind of comparable to the Monaco wedding chart with Princess Charlene, where it was just like, I'm sick. Not to say that Caroline isn't really sick, but can I ask this about, did I say Caroline again? I meant Catherine. The whole thing about her health, is it what they are saying? is really what's going on. Is it true that she has a real threat of what they're saying that she is being treated for?
Let's see. The answer of is it true? Yes. Is it? I want to look for the specific answer because I have the Wheel of Fortune, which I actually had for the top of the read. The Hangman in reverse is definitely some kind of a delay for her. Ace of Cups. It's a good outcome. I think it's a yes. It's true. It is also true that it is survivable, or that she will survive it.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm seeing that too. I think she can. She's young. It doesn't seem as if they are putting her through anything that would, make her change her appearance. To not to say that it's not intense, but
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
Okay.
See that.
Wow. Now, let's look to. Oh, this is the other thing I wanted to show you, and then I want to go back to Selena again because this is bothering me that I would have put up that wrong chart. Now let me see. Got to share it, and this is Prince William's chart. Now we can look at the 7th house with, gosh, all of these planets here. Like that's something you could translate something out of that. That's what he's going to get. He is going North Node. That's what he's going to receive. He's going towards partnerships, which as a Leo, they feel uncomfortable with. They don't like that. A partnership will bite him in the butt. And so that's what that North Node is right there. And so what we would do is we would go not just review, and by the way, he has an intercepted 7th, so that means there are going to be 2 different signs that both moon and the sun are in there. It looks like a lot of partners, but that could be employment. Well, not employment, but like business partners.
Yeah.
Now, Mercury is right here in the 5th house, and that is, let's see. Hold on. So Mercury is okay. It's trining Saturn and Mars. Okay, so I think it's a good thing. It can mean a long-term marriage.
Yeah.
And to a beautiful person too, beautiful lady because of Libra. But the problem is this, and I kind of have the arrow should be here on the square.
Yep.
But Venus is opposing Uranus, and that is a wife.
Right.
And it is conjunct Chiron. So this is the possibility is that she could hurt him. And it's like, boom, because that Chiron is emotional wounds, or it could mean that there's a break of some sort. So my question to you is, what's that Uranus there? What is breaking up his wife?
Let's see. Oh, interesting. That 9 of Swords keeps coming up. This has the King of Wands, the 9 of Swords, and the 7 of Wands. And I could always think about King of Wands as her father. I would think of that as her father. But there's something around mental health that keeps coming up. And I'm not trying to attribute it to her or her father as it shows in here, or William, I'm not sure. But someone has some sort of crisis, that's the Uranus piece. I feel like it's less of the word break and more of a crisis. And there's so much surrounding mental status, mental health.
You know what would be ironic is if what, she's trying to step back from is what Harry and Meghan early on said, we're out of here.
Yeah.
So that would be rather ironic and something I'm sure she probably would not want to admit, but there definitely, something is messing with the mental health. Probably all of those things that none of us have to really worry about.
Yeah.
So, okay. Interesting. Now, okay. Oh, this is a good question. Can you tell if William has a connection to Keir Starmer beyond their positions? I would have to I would probably look at the progressed for that, which we could do it another time. I don't have it up here.
Yeah.
He's got Black Moon Lilith on his ascendant, and that was a question that you had.
Yes.
And with the opposition towards the moon and the sun in the 7th house of partners, this is someone who is,
shady.
I didn't say it. I alluded to it.
Yes.
So, shady towards. Well, here's the other thing, too. With his 5th house, with Venus opposing Uranus, well, that's Diana. That's a car accident.
Yeah.
So even though Venus would be his MC lord, you can see that there's an accident, and that would be the accident splits up his family. So that's the 5th house there, the opposition from Uranus. And okay, so can I ask, if Keir Starmer has a connection to William? I wonder how that would play out in the card.
Yeah. When I first saw the question, I pulled a couple of cards, and actually it's a yes card with this Ace of Pentacles. That's a yes. And then right as you said, something about the family breakup, the 10 of Cups is in reverse, which is sort of the disablement of family.
It would, it would be the big challenge of his life as he comes here to do his what he's responsible for doing. So, I mean, you think about these guys and how much they've gone through, and it's easy to just pinpoint someone and say they're not doing this or that. But my God, haven't they gone through enough?
I know. Yeah.
Like to bully them like that, but that's what they were here to do, is to be bullied and be bullied. So I want to do this. This is Selena's. Let's see here. Do you see it? No.
Not yet.
Not yet. This is Selena's solar chart 494. She, let's see. Selena died on March 31st, 1995. And so what would we see here? So this would be 94 to 95. It would be this 12th house. And what's really interesting is the chart that I showed, which would be the year before. I wonder if we were seeing something there.
Predictor.
Yes.
Yes.
Because Uranus shows a future something. So the year before, I'm getting chills.
Yeah.
The year before, we were seeing her future murderer. That's who she was talking to. And so here, check this out. You've got Uranus right on her ascendant squaring the sun, which is your body. So there's some kind of something that's shocked. And the other thing, too, is that when something like this is all on your ascendant, it's how people see you. So everybody knew about it. It's usually the ascendant and the 10th house. That's going to, suddenly everybody look at her 10th house. It's packed.
Yeah.
So weird, too, how Pluto is conjunct North Node and part of Fortune, which is massive, massive, massive fame.
Yeah.
So her accident would catapult her music and to just worldwide fame. She would become an icon, really. But let's see. Oh, and you can also see right at the end here, the 12th house is Jupiter. and Jupiter is a hidden enemy, and boom, right, they
Right on
fall.
her MC. Yeah.
You can also see that Saturn is trining Jupiter, which would mean that well, I'm gonna let you guess what that means. Saturn trine Jupiter, which Jupiter would be the hidden enemy.
Mm-hmm. She's older.
She's older.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, so that would be a profile there. Wow. And
Yeah.
so let's look at,
Well, and the woman had been in her circle her life the prior year. She was around, right? This was not a new person to her.
it's so weird that I got
Wow.
what kind of charts did I put in my presentation today? I don't like this isn't even close to what I got, but I'm gonna, this is 93. Maybe I put in a different,
Mercury
city.
retrograde said, go back.
Right. I know, go back, and I had help with that. So, anyway, so yes, sure. Thank you for pointing that out. We're like a lab here. We're not gonna get it all perfect, but
Yeah.
gosh, acknowledging and trying to fix it is super
Yes.
important. Okay, so Eleanor, this will destroy us. Oh, by the way, just that comment made me think of, I don't know if you're noticing all of this stuff that's happening in the news, just so much fear. The fear factor is at an all-time high. So, we're just getting through this time, and hopefully we're not going to see so much, fear and death and all that stuff. It's just like, oh, it's too
Chaos.
much. It's too
It
much.
is.
You gotta take a step back.
Yeah.
And, all right. So can I ask one more question?
Yeah.
If it is a divorce and this, we're peering into something that really is none of our business, but yet people want to learn, how do I see a divorce for myself?
Mhm.
But, maybe could we get some hints as to what time frame? That's something that I don't really know much about tarot when it comes
Yeah.
to time frames.
It's sort of you start out here and you can move inward for timing questions. Some of the cards indicate for me, and I read them as weeks versus years versus maybe days, but this for me is, I'm out here looking, bringing it in, and I would say it would be in a period where it's a fire energy sign. So that would, be Leo
Okay.
time, Sagittarius,
Yeah.
or Aries time. If something
Mhm.
happens, it's in that time frame of a year. In terms of how soon, if that's the question,
Yes.
I have a different deck that I'll use for that I like, the Moonology deck,
Okay.
and it gives us a little bit more specific other than that. Oh, wow. The full moon card. That's interesting. A full moon could trigger one more. Let's see. Taurus. Taurus for me is 2 to 4 years. 2 to 4 years.
Okay. Wow, that's amazing that you can get that. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll have to see. We'll have to see. And, we just pray for them because Saturn is just moving over that wedding chart of theirs. And if they can just, it's actually, that's a Saturnian period. So if they could just move, or they can just hold tight, work hard for between, 2, 3 more years,
Yeah.
then they can make it through, I think. So
Yes.
what are you seeing anything else?
I just wanted one more on that Taurus card for the 2, and I got the Devil card. I just wanted to ask, confirmation about what we're talking about. And with the Devil card, it's just, it's hard energy. It's difficult. And you were saying Saturn and Saturnian time, and that's a Capricorn Saturn card. I just love when there's such moments of confirmation.
I know, because you always say the devil is Saturn, right?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Whew. Well, thank you so much for your time
Of
today.
course.
Insightful as always.
You too. Thank you.
And we'll see you hopefully next week, and have a great Mercury retrograde.
You
And
too.
to all of you too, thank you for watching. Bye-bye.
Thanks. Bye.